raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
We have been given a gift by God today to usher in a new dynasty.
Now you get RFK Jr.
Don't you want a president who's going to make America healthy again?
You get Tulsi Gabbard.
Putting our country in a continual state of war.
You get Elon Musk and you get J.D. Vance.
A hell of a way to start the next 4 years.
The right-wing Avengers.
We have an army of digital soldiers.
Department of Defense under Donald Trump will achieve peace through strength.
Shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one.
The rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
The golden age of America has most definitely begun.
Begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay.
They're getting the dirtbags off these streets.
There's one guy who can fix this shit, and it's Donald Trump.
What's storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Thunder breaks, the ground is shaking from the weight. Voices crying in the night, but freedom burns a steady light. We hold the line, we won't let go. Through every trial, the truth will show. This is your daily dose. Open your eyes, see through the smoke, see through the lights. Rise from the silence, hear freedom's call. One voice, one people, united we stand tall.
Hearts awaken, chains undone. A new day breaks, the dawn has come. Through every battle, through the flame, our faith in God remains the same. The storm may rage, the night may fall, but hope will answer stronger than all.
This is your daily dose. Courage and fire, lifting the weak, lifting us higher. Not by the sword, but the truth we recall. Where we go, we go. We've seen the darkness try to reign. We felt the sorrow, we've known the pain. But every trial has forged the steel. In God we trust, His plan is real.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Josh, and welcome to the Red Pill Project's Daily Dose, live with you Monday through Friday, except for this week. I hope everybody is doing great out there, having a great start to their week. I am gone Wednesday through Friday this week. Where am I at? Well, I'm at the Great American Restoration Tour in Deadwood, South Dakota. If you don't know what that is, let me pull it up and tell you guys. Yes, so no show Wednesday through Friday. There might be a show. I'm going to have some streams going on. I'm going to have a lot of stuff going on. So just, pay attention to the channel for live streams. Who knows, maybe an impromptu, but I will be here. Badlands Media, the Great American Restoration Tour in Deadwood, South Dakota. Featured speakers: John Harold, Chris Paul, Burning Bright, Zach Payne, G Money, Jordan Sather, CanCon, Alpha Warrior, Ashton America, Jonathan Jink, Josh Reed, JB White, Cam Kuski, Matt Trump, and Ghost of Base Patrick Henry. That is June 25th to June 28th. Guys, you can get in-person tickets if you are in and around that area. I just want to fly out for the day into Rapid and then drive out the hour over to Deadwood, or you can get the virtual tickets right here. So just go on over to redpills.tv, and you can get your tickets right there. Redpills.tv, you can go get your tickets, or go to badlandsmedia.tv as well. You can get the tickets over there. This will actually take you over to Badlands, but you can just go to my website first and then hitchhike over there. But I'll be there. I leave tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm driving. It's an 8.5 hour drive. The cool thing about tomorrow is, yes, I know people are like, Josh, you need a haircut and you need to get your beard shaved and trimmed. Yeah. Do you guys know Nate's barber shop out in the chat? He's in Sioux Falls. So I'm going to be dropping in on Nate tomorrow and getting all my hairs cut and getting a professional beard trim. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen Nate in over a year. So good buddy of mine right there. Appreciate it, Nate. Don't expect a big tip, buddy. I don't make much money here. Just joking. I'm just joking. But yes, so that's what we have going on this week. But man, future proves the past. I think that's a great way to start this show tonight, because we're going to talk about a lot of different things that are happening yesterday, with the teases of the Q post from the White House to a few different things that came out today. Some news happening. The big news: DNI Pulte doing the firings. Over 50 career intelligence officials have been fired so far. This is exactly what we said Pulte was going to do weeks ago when we were talking about this, and Trump nominated him to interim DNI. And remember, we told you this. We said Pulte wasn't the permanent DNI. We said he was the interim. He's the placeholder. He is the Trump administration, Donald Trump sitting over at ODNI. And that's why it's so magical, because we knew he wasn't there a permanent, and this was Trump's way to go in there and begin the mass release of documents that DNI Tulsi Gabbard had already prepped and got things ready for, as well as finishing this election integrity and infrastructure report that we're expecting any freaking day now. But we had to let Pulte get his feet wet a little bit first and start firing the shit out of people. So a lot of different things happening right there. I got Kurt and Chris, and we're going to have them on last night, but they had some technical difficulties with LT when they're on, and we know. And so they're going to come on tonight. So we're going to have them on for a few minutes, but I wanted to go over something real quick before I bring them in. So last night, I'm like, I don't know, let's just test the waters and tease this out there. And I hit Dan Scavino up, and I said, hey, Dan, would love to have President Trump and or the White House to drop a where we go one, we go all. Now, I didn't expect anything, as usual, right? And so what did we get? Well, I talk a lot about the Department of War's CTO. I talk about this guy all the time because he is the one that is continuously posting the Q drops, the timestamps in coordination with the Q drops. And what does he post today? Where we go one, we go quantum. I don't know. I think that's a win. I asked for it. We got something similar. So just understand there's people out there listening. And I think that's really cool. Now, not only did he post that, he posted it at 9:18 a.m. Now, that's where this gets really interesting. Now, why is that interesting? Well, News Treason posted this earlier today. We'll bring this up. Take a look at this. 9:18 a.m. We go on over the post 9:18. You are learning how many coincidences before it becomes mathematically impossible. Wait until you learn who you've been talking to here. Quantum talking to? I don't know. Just think about it. pretty interesting because I think that we are in the midst of this time. I think that this is now public. This is all coming out. Not necessarily that, oh, yeah, we are Q and we're posting Q, but that this is prepping the narrative for what is about to happen. July 4th, 2026, I think is the kickoff time frame that everything is going to begin to unravel. Actually, tomorrow we have the big rally with Donald Trump on or is it tomorrow or is it the 25th? I think it's Wednesday. Or no, it's the 24th. It's tomorrow. The big rally with President Trump. And I think that this is going to kick off festivities. And I think that what we're going to see over the course of the next 6 months is going to be pretty damn epic. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in the show in a little while. Now, I did do a post today because I was like looking at where we go one, we go all, WWG1, WGA, and I'm like, we got to do something with that. We got to make that into something. And so I went in there and I made it into something. And so I thought I'd share this with you guys here. We are the inheritors of the sacred responsibility to preserve liberty, truth, and faith for future generations. That's the first W. The second W, we will not be defined by fear, division, or despair, but by courage, unity, and purpose. G, go forward with conviction, knowing that history is shaped by those willing to act when others remain silent. One nation under God can accomplish extraordinary things when its people remember who they are and what they stand for. W, where truth is defended, freedom endures. Where freedom endures, hope survives. G, go where duty calls, even when the path is difficult, because the greatest victories often require the greatest sacrifice. And A, all who seek truth, justice, and liberty have a role to play in building a better future. I thought that was cool. I don't know. I like playing with stuff like that. But we do have some news today. There are some things happening. Yep. I mean, we don't just come on here and shoot the shit and bullshit. We actually talk about the news in here. Yesterday was a pretty good show, Cue the Storm. And if you guys didn't get that, check it out. It goes kind of hand in hand with last Thursday's show on the OG show, where we broke down all of Q, pre-Q, post-Q, all of this stuff. But definitely go watch that show last night if you haven't caught it. What do we got going on? Man, let's do this. I'm going to bring up my website. And actually, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do this. There we go. So we're going to bring in Kurt and Kristen because these two people are awesome. What's up?
Hey, what's happening?
These people understand how cool you two are. Like, I was on vacation with these guys. So when we went out to California, I was with these guys, and they are phenomenal human beings. They're just some of the greatest people in the world. Them, all of everybody over at Pet Club. So what's up, guys? How we been?
I'm doing great. We had such a great time with you too and your family. It was so much fun getting to know everyone, and yeah, it's always good to hang out with like-minded people.
Agreed.
Fun quality time.
Well, what is new in your neck of the woods?
Well, we kind of just wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about 4th of July coming up, because that's a really stressful time for pets, especially all the fireworks and everything going on. It's the peak of the year for runaways. I think 1 out of 5 dogs run away during the 4th of July. And so, and I think about 20% are successfully reunited with their owners. Oh, wow. So a lot of them never even find their way back home. And so we just kind of wanted to share a little bit of how you can make a safe place at your home for them, and also what you can do for them to help keep them calm during that time. Yeah.
I did not know. I got 3 dogs. So that means that like a quarter of one of my dogs is going to go gone. So
yeah, 1/4 of one dog.
Yeah, a quarter of one of my dogs is going to leave. That's not good. Well, that's an interesting statistic, and I'm assuming it's because of the fireworks and such that are happening and people celebrating that it spooks the dogs, and a lot of them will run away and they'll cross the road, and bad things will happen when dogs cross the road. Not chickens, just dogs. But so talk to me about different products that you guys have over there at Pet Club for dogs.
Yeah, but their anxiety does go up by 75%, I think was the statistic. And so, there are some things you can do at your house that will help. You want to kind of share a little bit of what people can do?
Yeah, I mean, it's more common sense, but choose an interior room, a space without windows, things like that, like a bathroom, a basement, or a large closet to put them in, during that time. Muffle the noise, close curtains,
Yeah.
run a loud fan, TV, things like that. Provide,
Some people take, I'm sorry to interrupt, but some people actually have put tennis balls in socks. Josh is laughing. He spent time with us. I have so many words. But you could put tennis balls actually inside of socks, and some people put those in their dryer, and that little bit of white noise helps them too. Sorry to interrupt.
all good. They run off, it just is what it is. If you've ever gone shooting and your dog was near, like ours was when we went camping, he took off and we didn't think we were ever going to find him. And we didn't even think about that, so you start learning the important things when it comes to all this and how they're feeling. So those are some of the things it can do, but we've got a great product that really helps with, curbing that anxiety and mellowing them out.
Yeah.
And Kristen's going to kind of go into that.
Yeah, we're really encouraging people, along with preparing your environment, making a safe place for them with the white noise to help them. Also making sure all the perimeters secure, the windows, the doors, everything, check all the fence lines, everything like that to make sure everything's secure. But then also we have something called chill doggies. And these were originally designed for dogs with hyperactivity, dogs with a lot of anxiety, even dogs showing sign of dementia, because it has the lion's mane mushroom in it. And the lion's mane mushroom is really great for nerve and brain support. So it can really help to keep them calm during that time. It actually helps with their neuroplasticity. I won't get nerdy on you because I know we have limited time and I can't wait to hear the news that you're going to go over. I had full chills when you were talking about it at the beginning. But we also have 3 other calming agents that are in with the lion's mane mushroom. It has passion flower, lemon balm, and organic catnip as well. And all of those herbs really work to help keep them calm. So they're not sedated. They're still aware of everything that's going on. They're able to enjoy themselves and have a good time without feeling that hypersensitivity or that panic that they usually feel. So it's not too late. You can still order them. It only takes a couple days for it to come to your home from ordering it. And we recommend giving it to them about an hour before the fireworks, 30 minutes to an hour before the noise and the festivity begins, and give it some time to process in their systems so that they can be chill during the 4th of July.
So it doesn't sedate them. It just gets them really high.
Well, yeah. It's so funny because some people joke around and call organic catnip for dogs. They call it doggy-wana.
Yeah. Doggy-wana. Well, yeah, what is it? Passion flower. What is it?
Passion flower.
Passion flower. I think that's actually the intoxicating one for dogs, if I'm correct on that. Very similar to catnip. But that's cool.
It's a glass of wine. It kind of how humans feel when they have a glass of wine. That's what it does for dogs. So it doesn't sedate them. It does not like a tranquilizer or anything like that. It just chills them.
It's better than the eating your stash, right? So cool. And then you guys also have this longevity pack. Something we talked about before was longevity pack. And so I was the idiot. I didn't take it all together, but it has a synergetic effect. So you might talk about that a little bit.
It's really incredible. And we originally put it together because it helps to activate mitochondrial biogenesis in your body. So it helps the mitochondria to function better in your body to replicate healthy mitochondria. So on a cellular level, you go through a cellular turnover and all of these healthy cells start replicating. But one of the effects of it that we didn't take into consideration is as people's bodies are getting all of this natural support through these functional foods, and especially using the beauty and longevity gel that's part of the longevity pack as a carrier for these adaptogenic mushrooms, helping the body to absorb the bioactive compounds more efficiently, people are losing weight, tremendous rates, but natural rates. There are a lot of different drugs and treatments and stuff that are out there that can help you lose weight, but a lot of times that work by overriding signaling in your body and hijacking your body and mimicking hormones and those types of things. It's very unnatural, and they're losing weight at unnatural paces, and it's causing all of these indirect consequences, and people are having a really tough time with it.
Ozempic.
Yeah. You've seen those Ozempic face? Yeah. Oh, and have you seen trying to walk because they lose all that muscle in their feet so quickly, and they have to relearn how to walk again? And hair thinning and falling out, a lot of these different things that happen because they're losing weight too fast. So when you're eating the right functional foods that are supporting the proper systems in your body and helping them to function more optimally back to when you were younger, so your metabolism starts to go back to how it was before all the stress and the trauma of adulthood raised your cortisol levels so high and messed you all up, right? It's so amazing. It's just a natural byproduct of eating these functional foods. These mushrooms nourish our bodies intelligently in ways that no other food can. And so I've lost 5 pounds. My mom lost 14 pounds in 14 days. Our friend Kurt lost 22 pounds. Our friend Diana lost 6 pounds when she was losing an ounce a week. She ended up losing 6 pounds in the first month of taking the longevity pack, and she's still losing weight.
And the reason she was only losing that type of weight is she's part of a weight loss program where they meet every week and weigh themselves. And so she had already lost.
Jenny Craig.
Yeah, right. and it's been really great to see that with somebody that is really strict on what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for everybody out there, I want them to go on over to that link that's below right here, petclub.redpills.tv, and they can see all the great products that you guys have out there. I believe that link will take you to the Coriolis Versicolor mushroom. That is the green bottle that we've talked about multiple different times on this show, and I highly recommend to everybody. I take 4 to 5 of those a freaking day, as well as the clarity, hence why I'm very humorous and I'm funny and I'm alert. But these mushrooms are probably the top of the line in the context of potency. You're going to get a lot of them out there that are at Walmart or GNC or these other companies, and they just don't have the same strength and derivation as these ones right here. And trust me, if you listen to the testimonials in the chat, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So Kurt and Kristen, I appreciate you guys coming on with me.
Can I give you 2 testimonials we just got?
Oh, yeah, do it.
Every day, but here's one. She wrote us and said, this is from a person she got on the mushrooms. And she says, so sorry to text you, but I have to tell you, I took 2 capsules of Inforce and no reaction. I just wanted to ensure I wasn't allergic to it. Then 30 minutes later, I took another. And I kid you not, this stuff is amazing. My muscles and joints have been hurting daily. I am in pain all the time. When I get up from sitting, it hurts. When I walk, it hurts. And oh my God, I got up from sitting and I had very minor pain. I cannot believe this. Another one that I was just on the phone with a guy, and he was telling me that his uncle, who had stage 4 prostate cancer, his numbers were 262. And anytime you're over 4, they start getting concerns of cancer. He started taking 10 a day of the mushroom, went back in, his numbers had dropped to 62 in just 6 weeks. Went back another month later, they dropped to 11. And now he's down below 4 and avoided, which he didn't want to do to begin with, was going through chemotherapy.
Wow.
And so, we're seeing some great things. Again, this does not cure, mitigate, or prevent, but when we can get the immune system running optimally, it's capable of resolving any type of issue, from the smallest of concerns to most catastrophic. Take it, be healthy. It's an incredible product. So Josh, thank you.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. And you guys have a great week, a great rest of June, and an amazing 4th of July. It's a busy next few weeks for us here. I'm traveling this week, then I'm traveling next week, but then I'm back in the saddle. So hopefully we'll get to see you guys here in a few weeks. But appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Josh.
God bless.
Bye.
Good night. All right, guys, petclub.redpills.tv. And from there, you can go search the whole website for anything that you might want or need over there. Petclub.redpills.tv. And thank you for giving me the time to go out there and do that one right there. I love those guys. They're my longest sponsor that we've had of this show, and they are absolutely phenomenal and amazing people. And just the whole company and organization. From Steve and Simon on down. These people are freaking amazing. Love them. All right. Donald Trump today had a little talk in, where was he? In Pennsylvania. And what did he say? 34-second clip. Let's listen to this one. And this better happen. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. This better happen.
The NRA, everybody, they really have been. They've been with me right from the beginning. And Bill asked me, would I support the national right to carry legislation? How do you feel about national right to carry? That's my free poll. You know what that is? That's a free poll. I don't have to pay $300,000 to somebody that doesn't even do polling, you know, to give you phony numbers. See, those are real numbers. National right to carry. Yeah, we're working on it. The NRA, everybody, they really have been.
So, a national right to carry. If we can get that, man, I'll be pretty damn happy. I think the way that they would do it is basically just issuing a federal concealed carry permit that has reciprocity among all the various different states, and that the state qualifiers that are currently in place would be the kind of the regulatory requirement for getting that. But basically what it does is it removes a lot of the restrictions for reciprocity between each and individual state. If you don't know what that means, Utah is different than California. California is different than New York. New York's way different than Pennsylvania. And if you want a concealed carry permit, some states it's very, very easy, and they have a shared license with other states. So you can have a non-resident concealed carry in other states, but some states don't honor what those other states do. So what this bill would do is basically give a generalized reciprocity for all the states to come in and have basically the same type of certification and framework around concealed carry. And that way you would have a 50-state reciprocity for concealed carry. I'm all for this. This has been long overdue and needs to happen. And I absolutely am someone who says you have the right to carry, because yes, I'll be taking my pistol with me tomorrow. So we don't talk about the economy that much. And you can see the red sheen on my face right there, right? And that's from my screen right there. And the reason my screen is like that is because $1 trillion was wiped out of the stock market today. Now, we've said that a lot over the course of the last few months, especially with Iran going on. We'll come back and we'll say, oh my God, $1 trillion wiped out from the stock market. Oh my God, $1 trillion is put back into the stock market. And it goes back and forth, back and forth. Now, people are indicating that this time, it's different. Now, this comes off of the bloodbath in the Asian markets. Over $800 billion was wiped out from the Asian stock markets in just a few hours last night in a massive tech stock sell-off. Now, what is the reason for this? The AI semiconductor sector was hit hard, with various different companies facing some of the worst declines that they've had ever. Now, many people are saying that this is the AI boom about to burst. Many people are saying that it's profit taking. I think that it's a readjustment in the Asian markets with leverage money. So this happens all the time. We call them market corrections usually. This one is definitely different than the ones that were happening during the closing down of the Straits of Hormuz. But the way that you have to look at the financial markets is that we say the American markets, but you have to understand that a large portion of the money inside the American markets is not American money. That a lot of these other stock exchanges, especially the Asian, Korean, so forth, those stock exchanges, a big part of their holding is in American stocks. And so what happens is these large conglomerates go out there, they leverage money. So they'll leverage money to borrow more money. So they'll put up some JPY, some Japanese yen, and they'll borrow upon that staked yen at a 5x multiplier. So they put in 5 billion. Now they can borrow 25 billion. They take that 25 billion. They'll go buy some Bitcoin and they pump it into US tech stocks. Well, then when rates begin to move, they have to sell off their positions so they don't get margin called. And so then they have to liquidate their tech stock positions. We always see this happen first in the Asian markets, second in the US stock markets. I think that's what's going on. That's just my theory. I hadn't checked the Japanese rates today, but I'll be damn certain I am freaking correct on this. And it's usually the JPY, by the way. It's the Japanese the Japanese yield. U.S. House officially passes the bill to ban the Federal Reserve from creating a CBDC until 2030. Now, you got to ask yourself, why the hell would they say until 2030? Why would they put that stipulation in there? Is that so they could get it easily passed and we could have 4 years of no CBDC? Or is that because they just don't know what's going to happen next? Is it to get the Democrats to vote? I don't know. But I don't like the fact that they're limiting on this function. I think that it should be a constitutional amendment. No central bank digital currencies should ever exist. Period. Done. This one gets me a little wishy-washy because it does have a deadline 2030 and 2030, you know, that's Agenda 2030. So you got to start asking yourself questions in this. Now, why do I think that they're limiting that? There's something else that nobody talks about. See, in 1913, the Federal Reserve came about on December 24th, 1913, signed into law by Woodrow Wilson and only voted for by 2/3 of the Congress because the rest were on Christmas leave. Now, what's interesting about that is the original Federal Reserve Act was a 20-year charter, which meant that it expired in 1933. And in 1933, just so happens, the U.S. went bankrupt and we entered into the Great Depression. And then they seized all the gold to pay off the U.S. debt to the central banks. And then they extended the Federal Reserve Act by 100 years. What's 100 years from 1933? That's 2033. Which means that the 100-year charter of the Federal Reserve is coming up on termination here. And they only put that stipulation in there until 2030. Just saying. You never know. We could be witnessing the end of the Federal Reserve, and that's why they put that stipulation in there. Possible. Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire is reportedly eyeing a $2 billion IPO. This is freaking ridiculous. The Daily Wire has lost a massive amount of following. They've been firing and laying off people because they don't have money flowing in. So Ben Shapiro thinks he's going to take it public to gain value within it. I think that this is going to be an epic failure, that this is going to be the worst IPO releases ever in the history. And, you know, Ben Shapiro, he can just go fuck himself. That's for all I have to say. Ben Shapiro can go fuck himself. He probably already does. I'm pretty sure of it. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announces the results of the 2026 National Healthcare Fraud Takedown. 455 defendants charged in connection with $6.5 billion in alleged fraud. He said this announcement marks the greatest combined federal and state effort in combating healthcare fraud in history, thanks to the leadership of POTUS and the VP and all the folks standing behind him and next to him. We are more united than ever before. This team is working tirelessly to take down fraudsters who steal from taxpayer-funded programs and prey on vulnerable Americans. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you have Medicaid and Medicare fraud, you had SNAP fraud, you have welfare fraud, you have USAID fraud, which we'll talk about here in a little while. But any level of government subsidies, funding, grants that you find, did you also notice that there's fraud attached to it? That the majority of where this money goes is connected to fraud. Now, Donald Trump said something a few months ago, or about a month ago. He said, if we got rid of all of this fraud, we'd probably have a balanced budget. He's right. Because there's probably $1 trillion more of waste and fraud per year. Now, I want you to take that in the context and now go backwards. Last year, the year before, the year before that, the year before that. How many $1 trillion of fraud years have we had? Under Obama, under first Bush, under second Bush, under Clinton? How many $1 trillion of fraud has been perpetuated against the American taxpayer for the last 30 years? What is fraud? Fraud is going out there, receiving federal taxpayer dollars, usually allocated through state programs. For Medicaid, Medicare, this would be like you have a senior health facility. So what they do is they get buses and they traffic elderly from their homes to medical facilities or to VA appointments and stuff like this. And they receive millions upon millions of dollars to do these contracts, but there's no buses. There's nobody being ran. They're doing in-home visits. So they're mischarging the federal government, or there's no company actually in existence. That's the fraud. And they've been doing this for a long ass time. And now we're finally got an administration with the balls to go in there and shut it down. Now, I did mention USAID out there. And what you're finding out today is that the US government is coming out and saying, yeah, USAID did fund terrorist organizations. No shit. No shit. How the hell do you think ISIS and ISIL rose up in Syria with the help of John McCain, the U.S. Armed Forces Committee, and various others, John Brennan, and so forth? How do you think they funded them? MJ Truth put it out there, USAID, or USAID. Sorry, I said USAID. Yeah, USAID. USAID, Hunter Biden, Google, Ukraine, EcoHealth, National Institute of Health, etc. All contributors for causing COVID-19 pandemic. For years, USAID gave millions in taxpayer money to Peter Daszak's EcoHealth Alliance through the PREDICT program. The goal was to hunt emerging viruses, including dangerous bat coronaviruses, often in partnership with China's Wuhan Institute of Virology. EcoHealth funneled U.S. funds to Wuhan researchers for studies on these killer viruses. Daszak's group also received hundreds of thousands of dollars from Anthony Fauci's NIAID, which it passed along to the same Wuhan lab. Google funded EcoHealth's research, including work by Daszak, since at least 2010. Since 2005, $10 billion have been funneled through black operations through the checks of Anthony Fauci. University of North Carolina received an exemption from the gain of function moratorium. 2016, the National Academy of Sciences stated SARS coronavirus is poised for human emergence. Which coronavirus is poised for human emergence? Answer, WIV1, Wuhan Institute of Virology virus 1. The list goes on. So the idea here is that the Trump administration came in and shut down the USAID programs. Wet my whistle. People, Democrats, were absolutely, oh my God, little kids in Africa are going to starve now that there's no USAID. No, what they were really concerned about is pet projects were overseas were no longer going to get funded. Revolutions in third countries over toppling their government regimes and installing anything that the CIA wanted to put in place were no longer going to happen. Various other projects around the world that has a distribution of money to NGOs, not government organizations, which then there go funnel and fund the left-wing radical agenda throughout the world with riots and protests and informationals and educational exchange programs through universities, was no longer going to be funded. That was the problem. U.S. taxpayers have been subsidizing the fucking world. Not just the world, but the world of the leftist agenda. And I'm glad it's time that this is ending, but people need to hang for these crimes. These are crimes against humanity that have been committed. And not only that, is a lot of this money has been used in election fraud. What does Trump say about this today? Not necessarily the USAID part, but election integrity overall. I'm freaking playing the video and I didn't even pop it up yet. Actually, is this the one I want or is this the one I want? This is the one I want. Sorry. There's an extra 30 seconds on this one. So I want to pop this one up here.
But they voted against proof of citizenship. Think of it. We'd like to have proof of citizenship. You walk into the voting booth. Would it be okay, sir, if I looked at you and said, how dare you ask me for my citizenship? You know, in California, if you ask that question to a voter, you are criminally liable. In other words, they can put you in jail. If you say, sir, do you have proof of citizenship? They put you in jail. if they ask that question. You're not allowed to ask that. Did you know that? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen going on. Hey, did they screw the kid, Pratt? Boy, he's leading, and all of a sudden he's lost. And it was sort of interesting. The election, you ever see an election where they're 2.5 weeks in? An election that takes weeks to count the votes? But after the evening, it looked like he was going to win or certainly be in the runoff. And then I started hearing rumors as the days went by, days and days went by, that Pratt is fading. He's fading. I said, they rigged the election. And then lo and behold, he didn't qualify, even though he was so far up in the third place person that it was almost impossible, and he didn't qualify. And then it started happening with the next candidate, Steve Hilton, who's running for governor. He was up in front, just about leading, no problem. And all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 days after, this is after the election's over, they said, Steve Hilton is starting to lose votes. I said, here we go again. And I called up the U.S. Attorney in California. They said, we're going to have a number in the next week. Next week. I called up the very powerful, very good U.S. Attorney in California, and I said, do me a favor. Take a look. They're trying to steal that election, too. I guess they called up. They said, this is the U.S. Attorney call. We have your great U.S. Attorney here today, by the way, and your assistant U.S. Attorney. They're doing great. David, thank you. But so over the next week, he was definitely going to lose, but the U.S. Attorney called. We want to check your votes. About an hour after the call, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hilton has won. So had I not made that call, Steve Hilton would right now be watching the election from home. So I don't know, you know, he would have a great chance, but the election's totally rigged. California's totally rigged.
I don't know. To me, this is an indicator that something is about to drop on this. Think about this for a minute. Donald Trump just spent 2.5 minutes talking about California election fraud, how they got caught in the middle of an election, how he called up personally the U.S. Attorney in California and said, they're going to steal this election. Do something. The U.S. Attorney goes on over there, and 2 hours later, they announced that Steve Hilton actually won. We have the FBI on the ground in Skid Row in California, taking testimonies of people who are paid $2 minimum per ballot to register and to fill out ballots. That's election fraud. I hope that things move on California very fast. I hope that something blows this open to where we have a redo of the mayoral election. I hope that it all gets exposed, because if it doesn't, we're fucked. If nothing happens with California after we watch Virginia's referendum get stolen, if we watch California get stolen, and we're going to roll into the midterms and think we're going to be okay, we're not. Something has to happen. Now, I've laid out what I believe is going to happen. A national emergency on election integrity and infrastructure that President Trump is going to bring about. There's a precedent that has to happen before that. But if we don't do something, if nothing is done, we're fucked. And you know what that means? There would be a reason why it's the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, because this is a revolutionary time frame. And if nothing happens and they steal it in November, it's it's Civil War. World War III. It's Civil War. That's my thoughts. They don't like this topic. You're freezing, bro. Am I? Everything's fine on my end. I have 0 drop rate. What are you talking about, man? How's the stream? Can I get a 5-5 from everybody? Are we doing good on the stream? I think it's just you, buddy. All right. Rand Paul asked Samantha Powers, did USAID fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China? Her reply, should we be funding the Academy of Military Medical Research in China? Some of the research proposals in 2018 were the Wuhan Institute of Virology asking for money to create a virus with a furin cleavage site, the SARS-like coronavirus with a furin cleavage site. That's exactly what COVID-19 turned out to be. So we want to know if there was any research proposals you either granted or denied that were in the same vein as creating viruses that could become COVID-19. We can't tell because you won't give us the information. I now have 25 senators that have sent you a letter and you aren't responding and you are being dishonest. Now, this is a 6-minute clip. I just want you to hear about the exchange a little bit between Rand and Samantha Powers.
Ms. Powers, did USAID fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
We did not fund gain-of-function research,
That's not the
as
question.
you know.
The question is, did you fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
Before my time, there was the PREDICT program with which you're familiar, which ended in China in 2019.
Yeah, this is a $200 million program, and the GAO has also identified that some of these grants went directly to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where there is a suspicion that the lab leak began the pandemic. Has USAID awarded funds to the Academy of Military Medical Sciences in China?
Not to my knowledge, but I'd have to get
I think the answer is once again yes. GAO has found that there have been subawards of NIH money as probably as well as USAID money that went to the Academy of not just medical research, military medical research in China. Now, part of the unknowns here is we can't get the records to look at this. So I've been asking for months and months for records. In September of last year, I wrote Ms. Powers, USAID, a request asking for records from the PREDICT program. These are not classified. These are simply records of scientific research, and we want to read the grants to find out what they were doing and whether the research was dangerous or not. The response I got from your agency was USAID will not be providing any documents at this time.
Okay. Now, this was 2023. These documents are about to flow out. Rand Paul just recently has subpoenaed Anthony Fauci to come back in the Senate and testify. Why? I think we all understand what comes next. Rand Paul has been getting access to a lot of these documents. What you're finding out is the Obama administration funneled hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars towards various different types of dangerous gain-of-function research, not just in Wuhan, China, but throughout the world in various different biolabs that they've held. Not only that is just a tip of the iceberg. The only reason we know about the COVID-19 part about it is because COVID-19 was released on the world and produced a quote-unquote plandemic to steal an election. That's the only reason it's still being talked about. If it wasn't used to steal an election, nobody would be talking about it right now. Understand that. So here's the other part that we're not getting. This is the tip of the iceberg. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars for biomedical research, gain-of-function research, and other types of off-the-radar research done in what we consider to be autonomous zones. What are autonomous zones? Places like Venezuela and Ukraine, where you don't have massive international oversight and you don't have congressional overreach, where you can go in there, you can create a level 4 biolab or 72 of them like they did in Ukraine. You can contract that out through a secret government program through a 2008 bioterrorism bill. You can fund it with hundreds of billions of dollars. The Defense Intelligence Agency has a little program called the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, and they can move money around like it's fucking magic. They give it to a contractor in Europe called Black & Veatch. Black & Veatch goes out there and hires a bunch of subcontractors. These subcontractors then work with various different components of the biomedical military complex that go in there and they do biomedical testing, DNA genetic testing, manipulation. We had Congressman Burchett on our show a few months ago. One of the things he said, he goes, I believe that our government is genetically modifying human beings, super soldiers. Where do you think they do the research for this stuff? This is why I say this is all the tip of the iceberg, and all of this is coming out right now. So buckle up, buttercups. Acting Director of National Intelligence Bill Pulte has reportedly began firing massive amounts of people within the intelligence community, including over 50 career intelligence agents. That's huge. You got to love it, people. Absolutely got to love it. It is happening. So let's listen to Stinchfield on this topic of Bill Pulte, because everybody's got to chime in.
Stinchfield, I am becoming more and more of a fan of the acting director of national intelligence, Bill Pulte. Why? Because he's young, because he's inexperienced. This is exactly what I want from a guy who's going to go in there and get rid of the deep state. He has already been said to be making the purge inside the director of national intelligence's office. And I think this purge will extend into the intelligence community in general. And make no mistake, maybe the biggest reason why I love Bill Pulte right now is because the mainstream media and the left despise him.
This morning, sources tell us those firings are now underway. Now, it is not clear how many jobs are going to be affected, but sources say the National Counterterrorism Center is likely to be hit hard. Pulte, who just took over the role last week, today's actually his second full day on the job, is a Trump loyalist with zero intelligence experience.
They are so focused on zero intelligence experience. To me, it's absolutely ridiculous, okay? You don't need it. Is it helpful? Sure. But when you're going in and trying to determine what's right and what's wrong, and a guy who built a business like this guy did, I think he's just fine for the job. Now, if the media despises him, think about the intelligence community, the law enforcement community. They hate him. Remember Andrew McCabe of the FBI? This is him on Pulte.
Is it possible that these cuts in staff are really directed at people who the president perceives or the White House perceives as being disloyal? On a broader level, it raises the very basic question of how does Bill Pulte know who to fire? This is a guy with no intelligence experience.
Okay, that's why I wanted to play that clip. Andy McCabe said, how does Bill Pulte even know who to fire? Because Bill Pulte is a placeholder. He is a Trump loyalist who is put in over at ODNI, and he is getting his commands from the White House, from people who know exactly who needs to be fired, from people I know who are most likely consulting through National Security Council working groups who know exactly who need to fire. He's working with John Sullivan, Devin Nunes, few other people I'm not going to mention. So, we're going to see people interject into this. The CIA, others in the intelligence community, Tom Cotton, so forth. I think a lot of this purge also, by the way, is also to get out of our intelligence community the infiltration through foreign intelligence agents. Mossad. Keep that in mind. I think that that's going to be relevant here in the next few weeks. There's the article I was looking for. It's gone now. All right. President Trump today on Iran. Oh, by the way, guys, tonight after this show is DEFCON 0. Forgot to mention that. On Badlands Media, DEFCON 0 tonight after this show will be, someone mentioned his name. I'll be going on over to that. It's in 30 minutes from now, so I will be ending this show here in a little bit. I got a little bit more news to do. Then we're going to go on over there to that one. But let's pull up President Trump.
Iranians are saying that there's no scheduled visit for the IAEA inspectors. Is that part of your agreement?
They're wrong. They're wrong. They know they're wrong. They told us inside, and we have it down 100% inspections. And if they were right, I'd cancel the meetings right now.
And Iran says there's no agreement to buy Exxon.
From your view, Mr. President.
So you notice how Iran says there's no agreement. Iran says there's no agreement for scheduled visits by the IAEA. Remember what we were talking about yesterday. Multiple factions in Iran. You have the civilian component government who betrayed the Ayatollah Khomeini Jr., the IRGC hardliners. They were told strict guidelines for the negotiations. They went in there and they accepted a negotiation that they thought was correct, even when the Ayatollah said no. So when you have the news media come out there saying, oh, Iran's saying that this isn't happening, Trump's like, yeah, it is. What he's doing is he is reinforcing his support for the civilian component government that is in negotiations and talks with the United States of America in Switzerland and with the Trump administration. Why? Because that gives the strength to that component of the faction and not the other factions that are working against them. Absolutely genius. But this is why you're seeing this dichotomy happening within the media. Like they're saying that. No, they're not saying that. Now, we talked about Israel real quick. This is Mossab Hassan Youssef. He's former Hamas and Israeli intelligence. He said this on a podcast earlier, and I want to play this because I kind of know a little bit about this topic.
Israel's existence is not negotiable, and it does not depend on superpowers or the public opinion. And if they keep pushing Israel to the corner, they are the ones who are going to suffer the most. Israel hasn't used everything that it has. And Israel, on a purpose, did not expose the advanced weapons that it has for a very important reason. We don't want the enemy to know what we are having. And now, at this point, we're just playing around. So this is the clear message.
What the hell is he talking about? What advanced weapons is Youssef talking about there? Then you get Tucker Carlson coming out. Tucker Carlson warning of some type of false flag event by Israel.
I think we're in a really dangerous place right now because Israel is, for the first time maybe in my lifetime, legitimately threatened. And I say this as an opponent of the Israeli government, obviously a fairly well-known opponent of the Israeli government, but I don't want to see innocents die anywhere, including Israel, period. I believe in universal standards. It's always wrong to kill innocent people, including in Israel. So I'm not wishing their destruction, but I think they are in a very tough spot. And the problem for Israel is they've been talking for 50 years, my whole conscious life, about how they're on the verge of being destroyed. And that's always been a lie. But now you have an Iran that is a regional power. It's a global power, and it's not going to go away. And so Israel is in a place where domestically the country's gone crazy. They're convincing themselves that, you know, every crisis is an existential crisis. The only way out is to kill more people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then their great enemy suddenly becomes, paradoxically, ironically, way more powerful than it was when this war started 3 months ago. And so, like, where does that leave the Israelis? By the way, the United States is clearly going to begin the process, hopefully a short process, of distancing itself from Israel. We've got no choice.
Everything Tucker just said right there is absolutely correct. Besides the point that Iran is stronger. They're definitely not stronger. They have limited munitions. They have limited military support. Long and short range capabilities have been drastically reduced. So I disagree with that one part. But what he's indicating is that Israel is ramping up or giving all the signaling that we're about to see a major false flag somewhere in the world blamed upon Iran to re-engage the United States into a war with Iran all over again. At least that's what I'm getting out of that. And you said and also you have Mossab Hassan Youssef indicating the same thing. That Israel has a special weapon. What special weapon? The Ark of the Covenant? Is that what you're talking about? Is that why they wanted to get back into the land of Israel back in 1948? And why they wanted to expand their territory? Because they were on the search for some type of weapon, a weapon that they know if they could control, they could once again rule the world? Or are they talking nuclear? I don't know. Guess we'll have to find out. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, the intelligence community has covered up the nature and classification of MK Ultra experiments for decades. Americans have been misdirected repeatedly and deserve transparency and accountability from the CIA. The intel community's unwillingness to deliver the truth has fueled dangerous conspiracy theories and eroded public trust in the federal government. They have a hearing coming up next Tuesday at 10 a.m. pertaining to MK Ultra. I am absolutely interested in this and can't wait to see what comes out of this. Now, the reason why the intelligence community has covered this up is because it's not being covered up. See, programs like MK Ultra never ended. They just expanded out into Operation Mockingbird, and they got absorbed through other programs, and they transitioned to various different types of pharmaceutical control factors, to various different audio, visual, and then digital technological factors. See, MK Ultra never ended. It is right now currently being operated and ongoing and happening right in front of you. Your computer screen, your phone screen, the apps on your phone. There are light, audio, and visual components that are entraining your mind into a hypnagogic state to keep you entrained on data and information of which they can push right in front of your mind and push you any which direction in choices, decisions, and influence. And yes, corporations know how to do this and run these operations. And yes, intelligence agencies know how to do this and continue to do it. The reason why it's being covered up is because it's just not being released, because it still exists in special access funding programs. I think that's what they're going to uncover, or at least that's what you'll hear next Tuesday, is you'll start to hear that these programs never ended and they're still ongoing and they're still happening right now. I bet you. We're going to run this one real quick, and then I'll say my goodbyes. All right, parents, real talk for a second. America's about to hit a huge milestone. We're coming up on America's 250th birthday, 250 years of freedom, grit, sacrifice, and the greatest experiment in self-government the world has ever seen. This is the perfect moment to help your kids understand why this country matters, not just fireworks and hot dogs, but the story behind it all. There's a free guide called The Kid's Guide to America's 250th Birthday, and it's honestly a great way to introduce kids to how America began, who the founding fathers were, what they risked, and why the ideas they fought for still matter today. This guide sends kids back to the moment when brave men signed the Declaration of Independence, knowing full well they were risking their lives for freedom. It breaks it all down in a way kids can actually understand and enjoy without watering it down or turning it into boring schoolwork. If you care about raising kids who know where this country came from and why it's worth preserving, this is something you'll want to grab. And the best part, it's completely free with this special offer. You just need to pay the $2 for shipping and processing. Just head to freeusabirthday.com, and that's freeusabirthday.com, and the Kid's Guide to America's 250th Birthday is yours for your kids today. America's story matters. Make sure the next generation knows it. All right. Let me appreciate you guys. Let me run that one. And so I will be on a break for the next few days. I can't see around my water bottle. I'll be on a break for the next few days. I have the Quantum Biology Revolution, a show from last Saturday that we didn't get played in time. That will be playing probably tomorrow night in slot of the Daily Dose. Possibly a show in the next few days. I will keep you guys updated. If I can get some social media stuff out there, I'll definitely get some social media stuff out there. We've talked about doing a live show at GART, so maybe we can get one out there. Other than that, I hope to see you guys on the live stream for the Great American Restoration Tour. Hope you guys have a great week, and don't worry, there'll be plenty of streams. And if anybody's interested in like a daily dose binge, because I do the Fringe binge, but if you like, I want a daily dose binge, I can play like the last 10 episodes of the Daily Dose or something like that. We can do that. I just never thought anybody wanted to watch the Daily Dose over again. But I do have some conspiracy streams and the Daily Dose binge or Fringe binges coming up here in the next couple days. So pay attention to all of that happening on our channels. Much love, respect. God bless, guys. Take care. Have a great night. I will see most of you guys over on DEFCON 0. DEFCON 0 right after this in 26 minutes from now on Badlands Media. My Rumblers, I will raid you over there. So hold still right there. Much love, respect. God bless. Take care. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
There was a time when our children stood tall, hand on their hearts, one voice for all. There was a time when honor had weight, when the flag was a symbol, not a debate. There was a time when our history was known, with pride in the rules that made us all. time when truth was clear, when the media served, not ruled by fear. There was a time when leaders stood fast, guarding the people, defending the past. Now corruption wears a crown, lies are fed to tear us down. But Q said watch, and Q said see, the silent war will set us free. From the front lines, soldiers stare, wondering if we're still there. Their blood, their hope, their sacrifice will not be sold for a last prize. There was a time, but the time isn't near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, the veil undone. Patriots rise, we are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on. Or we will spend our sunset years telling our children what it was once like in the United States where men were free.
There was a time, the time is near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, veil undone. Patriots rise, we are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light. There was a time, there was a time, now is the time. Do it.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation. I want you to get mad.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
These people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!